It's been too long since we looked at a Beast Wars character, so for the final basics of 2019, we're diving into the history of one of the best loved bots from that series, WASPINATOR. WASPINATOR debuted as part of the first year of the Beast Wars toy line in 1996. As his name suggests, he transformed into a giant wasp, and was characterized by the profile printed on the toy's packaging as an evil Predacon who instilled terror in his enemies with the sound of his buzzing before attacking. The Beast Wars cartoon, however, had its own unique take on the character. Rather than the sinister figure described in the toy profile, the show reinvented WASPINATOR as its primary source of comic relief. A luckless stooge who was constantly being shot, blown up, crushed, and otherwise reduced to bits in the Predacon's many battles with their enemies the Maximals on prehistoric Earth. The reason for this change was his signature buzzing voice, provided by actor Scott McNeil.
Inferno blow up, WASPINATOR must salvage. WASPINATOR blow up, nobody salvage. No, why universe hate WASPINATOR?
Story editors Larry DiTilio and Bob Forward were frustrated by this slow, drawling manner of speech, finding that it ate up too much screen time, so they took to limiting WASPINATOR's presence in the show by blowing him up. This evolved into a running gag, and in the end, poor WASPINATOR's endless misfortune, which memorably included being possessed by the ghost of Starscream, wound up endearing him to the audience and turning him into a fan-favourite character. In 1998, a second toy of WASPINATOR was released as part of the new Transmetals range of Beast Wars figures, which gave WASPINATOR the ability to transform into a third jet fighter-like mode. Sadly, WASPINATOR wasn't upgraded to this form in the cartoon. In fact, Hasbro initially wanted him to be killed off at the beginning of the show's second season, and it was only thanks to DiTilio and Forward arguing for his survival, based on his popularity with fans, that he avoided this fate and continued to appear in the series. As the show went on, WASPINATOR's brushes with death became even more outrageous and cartoonish, culminating in the series finale, in which, thoroughly sick of being blown to pieces all the time, he quit the Predacons. But for all his suffering, WASPINATOR got a happy ending. As the other Transformers left Earth to return to Cybertron, he remained behind and became the revered leader of a tribe of cavemen. Sadly, WASPINATOR's happily ever after didn't last forever. As seen in the 1999 sequel series Beast Machines, the cavemen got tired of him pretty quickly, and he was forced to leave Earth and return to Cybertron as well, where his spark was extracted by Megatron and used to give life to the Viacon General, Thrust. WASPINATOR's personality was buried under the cool, brooding Viacon's programming, but he was perfectly happy with his new life, until misfortune struck again in the series finale, when Optimus Primal triggered the reformatting of Cybertron and all its inhabitants into techno-organic forms, and WASPINATOR's personality was reawakened as Thrust's body was reduced to a tiny techno-organic wasp. The cartoon didn't really explain how WASPINATOR returned from Earth to Cybertron. The official Transformers convention BotCon was going to offer an explanation, revealing that he had used a transwarp portal built by his fellow Predacon Tarantulas. But unfortunately, the showrunners at the time, 3H Productions, lost the license for the convention, and the story would never be told. The convention license would later be picked up by Fun Publications, who produced several of their own exclusive toys and stories about WASPINATOR, which included a figure of him in his Cybertronian jet form from before the Predacons left Cybertron, and an alternate post-Beast Machines incarnation of the character who represented WASPINATOR and Thrust fused body and personality into a single techno-organic being named Thrustinator, who travelled the multiverse correcting anomalies in the time stream. A new incarnation of WASPINATOR, more monstrous and sinister than the original, was introduced in 2008 in Transformers Animated. This WASPINATOR began life as an arrogant Autobot named simply Wasp, who attended boot camp at the same time as Bumblebee, with whom he shared a body design. Discovering that the boot camp had been infiltrated by a Decepticon spy, Bumblebee mistakenly believed that the rude and condescending Wasp was the culprit, and the real spy, Shockwave, seized the opportunity to maintain his cover by helping Bumblebee get Wasp arrested and imprisoned. Years of wrongful incarceration drove Wasp crazy, giving him the buzzing speech pattern of the Beast Wars character.
Wasp make Bumblebot pay for ruining Wasp's life!
Eventually, he escaped and travelled to Earth to get revenge on Bumblebee by exploiting their physical similarity to impersonate him and steal his life, but Bumblebee's teammates saw through his deception. Fleeing, Wasp was rescued by the mutant techno-organic Decepticon Black Arachnia. Seeking to understand her own biomechanical form better, Black Arachnia experimented on Wasp, mutating him into the techno-organic WASPINATOR, boosting his strength and giving him a beast mode. However, the process left Waspinator with a buildup of unstable transwarp energy in his system, which eventually caused him to explode. But just like his Beast Wars predecessor, Waspinator survived the experience, and was last seen pulling himself together and plotting for the future. He would have returned if Animated had been renewed for a 4th season, but unfortunately both it and a planned toy of the pre-mutation Wasp went unproduced. In 2011, Waspinator proved that his popularity hadn't diminished since the days of Beast Wars, when he became the 2nd ever character voted by fans into the Transformers Hall of Fame, defeating significant competition from some of the biggest Generation 1 Transformers in the process. Perhaps it was this reiteration of his fan-favourite status that led to new toys of him being released in the Transformers Generations toy line in 2013. First, there was a small figure which could transform from robot to Wasp to gun, which came packaged with Starscream, in homage to the Decepticons' possession of Waspinator in the Beast Wars cartoon. Then there was a new full-size figure based directly on Waspinator's appearance in the cartoon. In conjunction with the release of this figure, Waspinator was incorporated into the world of IDW Publishing's Transformers comic books, and the figure came packaged with his showcase issue. IDW's Waspinator was a Decepticon, who served as part of a unit tasked with hunting down the giant Transformers known as Titans. A freak teleportation event inadvertently led to Waspinator's Stinger weapon becoming enmeshed with the systems of a Titan, allowing him to control it. This led to him being recruited by Shockwave, who sought to use the Titan in his own schemes. After handing over his Stinger to his new master, Waspinator realized that Shockwave was going to kill him now that his usefulness was at an end, and so he escaped and helped the Autobots put an end to Shockwave's plans. Though, being Waspinator, he of course got stabbed in the process. The reformed Waspinator would remain a minor supporting character in IDW's comics for the next several years, but bad luck eventually found him again when the alien magic users, the Darkling Lords, attempted a takeover of Cybertron, and Waspinator was temporarily transformed by their leader Virulina's magic into a biomechanical steed for her, based on Fun Publications' Thrustinator toy. Waspinator has also made various other appearances throughout Transformers canon, including various video games, comic books, and manga, including the comical Transformers Legends, which depicted him as a massive Transformers nerd who knew everything about the history of the franchise. He hasn't had many other toys, but he did serve as inspiration for the character of Buzzerbot from Playschool's 2002 Transformers GoBots line. For a guy with such bad luck, he's had quite a positive impact on Transformers history. Waspinator might think the universe hates him, but as far as Transformers fans are concerned,
Waspinator!
And those are the basics on Waspinator. Get that comment section buzzing and share some love for him down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Transformers history, and consider supporting the series on Patreon. Enjoy the holidays, and I'll see you in the new year for more of the basics.